Welcome back to the Bravado Blitz. As our 2018 regular season comes to a close, it's now part of the season everyone has worked hard for, waited for, the playoffs. If you don't know, I'm your host, Eric Shannon, and I want to welcome you all to our special playoff edition of the Bravado Blitz.
And I'm your co-host, Brian Shows. Welcome back, everyone. It is that bittersweet time of the season as some teams celebrate and other teams are practicing basketball. At the end, only one team in each class will be celebrating and holding that gold ball.
Coveted gold ball.
Coveted.
Coveted. All right, these playoff teams are all equal now with 0-0 records, so we need to see what team's going to get hot, who's going to make a run. It's been a great year. Definitely have enjoyed this year, but now it's time for our playoff episode of the Bravado Blitz 2018. Welcome back, Blitz fans. We finished a great regular season, had an awesome final week of football. Our game of the week was in Class A. We traveled down to Central Salisaw as they hosted the Gore Pirates, and you couldn't have scripted a better game, Brian, as Central won 14-12. Gore led most of the statistical categories, but just couldn't seem to find the end zone.
No, and I know in a lot of those smaller classes, kickers are hard to come by, you know. Gore really needed those 2 extra points. Just goes to show you how sometimes against good teams you need those 2-3 extra points.
Yep, most definitely. Gore scored the first touchdown, but Central led 14-6 at halftime. The interception return for the touchdown was a huge difference, and our big man, Canyon Dean. Man.
Yeah, man. I really thought Gore was going to win that game, but Central came up with the plays when they needed them. It just shows how important turnovers are in the game and the momentum that they cause.
Right.
Our man Deem took it to the house on the interception return and ultimately gave Central the win.
Both teams really worked their tails off, and they gave it their all. District championship was on the line. Central needed that last drive and a touchdown to win by 9 to get the district, and they didn't get it.
Yep. At the end of the day, the Hobart Riders and our man, Jacob Bruce, emerged as the district champions on points alone. Gore did keep Central out of the end zone in the fourth quarter, so the Riders get that district championship. They're first in a long, long time. Congratulations, Albert.
Yeah, I think it's their first home game, home playoff game since 1969 for Hobart.
Good.
That's awesome.
That was before I was born.
That's a long time ago. It's way before I was born. All right, those 3 teams made the playoffs, and they're in our area, and they should contend in Class A. Good luck to Hobart, Gore, and Central in the playoffs. I think they can do well.
Go get them, fellas. Rep us well.
Yep. And since this is our playoff edition, instead of the polls, we want to take a look at the playoffs in each class. We'll start with the 18 field of 6A2. Muskogee Ruffers must climb Mount Everest to win that gold ball. They lost big to Bixby last week. Now they face the number 1 team in the class, Stillwater. If they win, they'll face the winner of Dell City and Booker T. Washington on the road. So very, very tough.
Yep, just a tough road for them. They need to climb that mountain, and remember, it's just one step at a time, brother.
Moving on to a 16-team field of Class 5A, the Tahlequah Tigers finished the regular season at 9-1 overall, second in their district. Collinsville finished first in that district. Claremore was third, and Coweta wound up fourth. In the top half of the bracket, Piedmont will play Ardmore, and Tahlequah will host Coweta. The winners will square off in week number 2 of the playoffs. Bishop Kelly, winners of their district, will play number 4 finisher Skytook, and Altus will travel to Bishop McGinnis in the 2 versus 3 matchup.
In the bottom half of that Class 5A bracket, top-ranked Carl Albert will host the El Reno Indians, and Claremore will travel over to Tulsa Edison. Number 3 ranked Collinsville will welcome the Ada Cougars and all that tradition they're going to bring with them. And the Guthrie Blue Jays will travel to Duncan down there to southwest Oklahoma to face the Demons of Duncan.
Lots of good teams traveling. If Tahlequah wins on this rematch with the Coweta Tigers, they most likely will travel to Ardmore in the second round, unless Piedmont wins. And if Piedmont wins, Tahlequah will host the Wildcats in the second round.
Let's go, Piedmont.
Let's go. We're rooting for Piedmont. All right, now on to Class 4A. 16 teams make up the playoffs in this class. Top half the bracket, the Clinton Red Tornadoes will host the Cushing Tigers in 1 versus 4 pairing. The 2 versus 3 will pit the Broken Bow Savages against the Coweta Indians in a very tough first-round game.
Yeah, I think out of all the ones that we've seen, that's the most evenly matched.
I believe
it's a toss-up.
Yeah, it's a long drive, but it's going to be a good game. Broken Bow better be on the upset alert because Coweta, they'll play them.
Well, Catoosa's seen Wagner, Bristow, so they've seen the best.
Yeah, they've played against the top teams. You're right. And in the other 2 games in the upper bracket, we have familiar opponents facing off as Fort Gibson will travel over to Wagner, and this will be a rematch of week number 2, and Wagner won 30-14 over the Tigers. So this game will be a rematch. And then the other game is Weatherford at Bethany.
I think that Fort Gibson can hear the basketballs bouncing.
Probably so.
The bottom of that 4A bracket pits number 1 ranked Tuttle against Anadarko, and Hilldale will travel over to Bristow. Poto will host Oologah, and Blanchard will travel all the way down to Cache.
It's pretty tough for it is. Bottom half's even tough.
Balanced.
You have number 1, number 2, number 4, number 7. If Hilldale wins, they'll travel all the way to Tuttle in the second round, most likely. If Poto gets a win, they'll host Cache or Blanchard in the second round. And if Wagner wins, they'll host either Bethany or the Eagles of Weatherford.
Moving on to Class 3A, the top-ranked Heritage Hall Chargers will play the Outlaws of Marlow in Oklahoma City. Stigler will travel to Locust Grove in the 2-3 matchup. Vertigus will make the short trip up the road to Lincoln Christian, and John Marshall will travel down to Ardmore to face Plainview.
In the bottom half of that bracket, we have the Perkins Tyrant traveling down to Sulphur, and Cassia Hall driving all the way down to McCurtain County to face the Warriors of Idabel. That's a long drive on that yellow dog. And Seminole will head to Berry Hill, and Purcell will get to travel to Kingfisher and face the Yellow Jackets.
And Idabel's a tough place to play.
It is.
Cassia Hall better watch out. Stigler finished 3rd in their district, so with the win, they will most likely play Heritage Hall in the second round over in Oklahoma City. They would host Marlow if the Outlaws pulled the upset. Idabel would travel to Sulphur with a win, or they would host Perkins if they beat Sulphur, and 4th-seeded Seminole would travel to Kingfisher with the upset win over Berry Hill. Good luck to Seminole in pulling that upset. They have the players to do it, I believe. The coaching and the players.
Coaching and players should have all those linebackers back. And Gunville.
We've had Seminole's been cool. We've talked about their injuries and all that throughout the year, and now you look up, they're 8-2.
Right.
And Berry Hill, man, 10-0. We're undefeated regular season. Yes, we get to host a playoff game. And by the way, the future winningest football coach in the state's coming to visit.
Yeah,
and bringing a pretty doggone good football team with him.
Your prize for winning the district is you get Seminole.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's a heck of a prize right there. In 2A, we have 32 teams making the playoffs. In the top half of the bracket, we have the Perry Maroons hosting Kellyville. The Salina Wildcats will travel to Sperry, and Spiral will take the short trek down Highway 9 to Eufaula. Lexington will travel down to Colgate. You ever been to Colgate?
Yep.
Man, that's a different town.
Yes.
Morris will head to Adair, and the Longhorns of Chisholm will head to Meeker. Dixon will travel all the way up to Oklahoma City to face number 1 ranked Millwood Falcons, and the Hugo Buffaloes get to travel to Vian Wolverines.
Vian America, baby. In the bottom half of that bracket, the Bulldogs of Valiant will travel over to Tulsa to play Holland Hall. Lindsay will travel to Washington. Jones will host Newkirk. Victory Christian and Metro Christian will square off in Tulsa. Community Christian will head down to Kingston. Panama will play at Antlers. Wyandotte will tackle Beggs. And finally, Okemo will head to Oklahoma Christian in Edmond.
If Eufaula wins, they host either Colgate or Lexington since they were district champs. Morris most likely will end up facing Chisholm or Meeker and having to travel west to one of those schools. Vian really got the rough end of the stick here. They're starting at Millwood in the second round, and if they beat Hugo, and then Millwood, if they take care of business, will meet them. And Millwood knocked Vian out of the playoffs last year.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, man. I think that the folks at Vian will tell you that Millwood is the one that drew the short end of the stick. They still got a sour taste in their mouth from last year, so that might be a game worth watching if everything holds to form.
Could be a little revenge game going on. All right, so Valiant, if they pull the upset, they travel down to Lindsay or Washington. Antlers will travel in the second round, most likely to Kingston, and Beggs will most likely host the Oklahoma Christian.
Out of all those games, man, out of all those scenarios and everything, we don't know. So let's just sit back and enjoy the first round and see what happens.
There's going to be some upsets. There's always upsets. There's going to be upsets somewhere.
With that, let's take a quick glance at Class A. This is a 32-team playoff as well. Gore will host Wynnewood as one of the few Eastern teams in the upper portion of the bracket. They will stay on the Eastern side with a win and play the winner of Rejoice Christian and Pawhuska. Allen travels to Hulbert, and Central Sallisaw travels all the way west to Wayne.
Hulbert will face either Commerce or Hominy with the win. Will most likely be a home game for them. If Central wins, they're going to have to go up the road to Tahlequah.
I think they should just stay out there.
Just get a
win that
hotel.
game, find a field, practice, put your game plan in, because that is a long
A lot of
drive,
cornfields up
brother.
there.
Yep.
In Class B, we have another 32-team bracket. Quick glance at this bracket shows we have Canadian traveling to Dewar and Porham heading to Walika. And in the bottom half of that bracket, the Gans Grizzlies are heading over to Wetumpka, and Coweta Lions will host Strother.
In Class C, we have Medford traveling to Dustin and Sasakwa playing at Southwest Covenant. And the Chargers from Midway will be headed to Coyle.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough road for the Chargers. Yeah. Again, congratulations on all the playoff-bound teams, all the players and the fans. Be proud of your teams. Lots of hard work. That's what this summer was all about. So that's what it's all about, making it to the playoffs.
That's it, man. Congratulations, fellas. You're one of 4 from your district.
That's right. All right. Stick around. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk to Coach Brad Gilbert from Tahlequah, see what he has to say about
Second visit of the year.
Second visit of the year. See what he has to say about the upcoming game. First round playoff game with the Coweta Tigers.
There is truly no place like home. Right here in Eastern Oklahoma, Bravado Wireless provides the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month. We believe in strong, connected communities. That's why we live stream community events like local football games. You may not know us by name, but we'll be at the same festivals and cheering for our kids on the same sidelines. Because we live where you live. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Welcome back to the Bravado Blitz, and this is the playoff edition. And we have one of our favorite coaches in the house, Coach Brad Gilbert. Coach Gilbert from Tahlequah, thank you very much for coming up and visiting with us today. Coach, home field, first round of playoffs, you guys have got to be ecstatic over in Tahlequah.
We are. It's one of those things where after week 6, we got beat by Collinsville. We kind of had to readjust the goals that we had in mind, and we, Monday morning we addressed the team and we told them that we can run the table, go 9-1, host a first round playoff game, and that's what we had, up there on that goal board, and our kids went out and did exactly as they needed to accomplish that. So I couldn't be more proud. I know the community's excited to have a first round playoff game, and we got Coweta coming back to town. Third time in a year that we've played them in a calendar year. So it's kind of an interesting twist to that first round playoff game, but we're excited.
All right, let's. We talked a little bit off camera. That Collinsville game, you guys literally took one on the chin, but we've discussed it. Brian and I have discussed it a lot. We discussed it then and afterwards, and even during the show. It was really not a Tiger team that we were really accustomed. It was kind of like the perfect storm. But I'm sure you learned a lot, and there was a lot of things to fix.
There's no question about that. Anytime you play a team like that, a very good football team, Collinsville taking nothing away from them, you got to be ready to play, no matter the circumstance, no matter what you went through throughout the course of the day. They came ready to play, and we weren't, and it showed that night. Yeah. So we've got to mature as a program and be ready for those moments, those big games, and hopefully, this Friday night you're going to see that in a big playoff atmosphere. But there are a lot of things that we took from that, a lot of things that we've learned, and hopefully we've put those in play to make us a better football team.
Sometimes, call it what is. Sometimes you need some of those to kind of bring you back down to earth maybe a little bit. And I'm a firm believer of everything happens for a reason. So that happened for a reason maybe. Maybe had to bring some kids back in check. All right, so let's move on to Coweta. You have Coweta first round playoffs. You played them regular season, second week, and you beat them 47-37. Now, was that at their house or your house?
It was at our place.
Okay, so they're coming back in. Now, how difficult is it to play a team twice in the same season?
I think there's some challenges. I think that both opponents know each other well. There's not a lot of difference between the two from week 2 to week 11 now.
Right.
But we got to just take care of ourselves, not to take anything away from Coweta, but we've got to make sure that we take care of ourselves, focus on little things that allows us to be successful. And then if we go out and play the way we can, we have every feeling or every thought that we're going to be in the ball game. Not saying that we will win, but we will be in the ball game. But there are some challenges. There's some some uniqueness to the game itself. And as I stated, last year, first round of the playoffs, we went to their place and played them. So it really is. It's just different playing them for the third time in a calendar year.
Right.
But we can't think about that. It's this game and Friday night, and there's going to be new challenges that'll come our way. So hopefully we respond in the right way so that we can have success.
Some new wrinkles and stuff.
Right.
Hopefully. All right. As my co-announcer always says, he wants to see the trick plays. So he wants to. Hopefully, you've got some of those in your back pocket this weekend.
Well, we work on those throughout the course of the year. We will throw some out there every once in a while. So you may or you may not see some. We're not gonna throw that out there, but but it's always fun. The kids enjoy those. They really do. Yeah. Whenever you practice those throughout the course of the week, they get excited, and it kind of brings an energy to the practice. And so hopefully, you see some, but you may not.
All right, Coweta fans, if you're watching, you may or may not see some trick plays, so you better be prepared. Okay, so you beat Claremore last week. Huge win. And I would think you're going to ride some momentum into this game off of that.
I would agree. It was a playoff atmosphere. You go up to Claremore. They're 5-1 in district play.
Right.
They're a very physical football team, well coached by Coach Hurt, and we knew that the first round playoff game was on the line. Both teams were playing for it, and our kids came out and played really hard. Didn't really flinch, and we talked about that. I think in ball games, big ball games, there's moments throughout the course that change the direction of the game, and I think in those moments we responded the right way.
Right.
That eventually changed the game in our favor. But yeah, there's things that we can take from that game. There's momentum that we can carry into, but you don't want to hang on to it for too long because Coweta's a completely different team, a completely different challenge, and you don't want to rest upon the things that you've had success with. You've got new challenges coming, so hopefully our kids aren't thinking about that too much.
Right. Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck this Friday night. We will be there, of course, with Bravado TV. And we're excited to cover you guys in the first round of the playoffs, and hopefully we get to follow you guys a couple rounds, because I think we honestly think you have the tools to do it, and I think you have the coaching staff, and I think you have all the intangibles. So folks, stick around. Hopefully we get to have Tahlequah. We get to ride Tahlequah a little bit. So
that would be great, and we appreciate everything you guys do for high school football and for us, and hopefully you guys can follow us a little bit.
I hope so. I hope so. We're sporting the Tahlequah helmet up here, and Tahlequah schools, they've been as gracious to us as anybody, and we appreciate them. So, Coach, good luck Friday night.
Thank you.
And we hope to see you later, covering you later in the playoffs. So, folks, if you can't make it out to Tahlequah this Friday night for the Coweta Tigers, going to the Tahlequah Tigers, be sure and watch it on bravadotv.com, and like it, share it, and we'd love to pack that stadium, big old Doc Wadley Stadium. Be awesome.
It would be. It'd be a great atmosphere.
There's going to be a lot of orange and black there.
There will be, yes.
So lots of orange and black. Both teams are orange and black. Those are my colors. Even though my college team's not doing so well, but those are still my colors. So, all right, folks, stick around. We have more to come on the Bravado Blitz. We want to thank Coach Gilbert for being here in the Tahlequah Tigers. Go out and support them this Friday night, or go find you a playoff team and go support them. We'll be right back.
You are called to be bold. You have a right to the best wireless service, high-speed internet, and customer service at a price you can feel good about. At Bravado Wireless, we know this, and that's why we put you and your community first. We are owned and operated right here in Eastern Oklahoma. We live where you live. We proudly connect you to your family, friends, and business partners wherever they are. Dallas, Seattle, Taipei, Toronto, and anywhere else in the world. We are Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Welcome back to the Blitz, and I want you guys out there to know about our Bravado Wireless Scholarship Giveaway. If you don't know about it, Bravado Wireless is giving away 2 scholarships to deserving scholar athletes. Coaches will nominate the players at OK Preps, and OK Preps will be picking the winner. So coaches, go to okpreps.com and nominate your deserving boy or girl athlete. and they can win up to a $2,500 scholarship. Bravado Wireless will pay the university of choice of the winners. For more information, go to okpreps.com and spread the word. Parents, if you're watching this, tell your coach. The coaches need to nominate the players, and that's how you get it done. And then it's open to all athletes in all sports. So, Brian, first thing we need to do is we need to talk about Tahlequah Tigers going up against Coweta Tigers.
Yep. Hey, before we move on from that, for you parents that have that are wanting to get on your coach to nominate your boy or your girl or somebody on the team, if they're in the playoffs, wait until they're done.
Right.
Their plate is full right now. They don't want to hear about scholarship offers.
Mm-hmm. Wait till after the playoffs.
That's right.
All right. All right, let's talk about the playoffs.
Yes, the playoffs.
Tigers will host the Tigers.
Yep.
They beat Coweta at Coweta by 10 points early in the year, 47-37. I think it was week 2. 47-37.
Yep.
And then Tahlequah Tigers get rolling. Then they drop one to Collinsville, which it was very built up. I mean, hugely built up. And they lose 8-43. And I think on homecoming. And I think almost it was just like a emotional overload.
Yeah, I mean, we just got done talking about that. Out of all the games that we've seen and the scores and everything, I think that's the greatest outlier. I mean, I think you could ask the Collinsville coach, and certainly Coach Gilbert is going to say, I don't know who was playing that night. You know,
right.
We had a myriad of issues, and it was. I just think that score more than anything wasn't who Tahlequah was.
It wasn't indicative of who the Tigers are. So I really think they can make a good run for their playoffs. They have a familiar foe. Playing a team the second time, how much more difficult is that?
It's incredibly difficult. And Coweta was kind of rolling a little bit. They had a big win in week 1?
Yeah.
Or did they almost beat Wagner?
They didn't beat Wagner.
But it was a good game.
But it was a close game, and I think it even went to overtime.
Yeah, so you kind of wonder if with the Wagner deal and then with Coweta, with Tahlequah beating them, if their season got rolling down the wrong end of the slope.
Right.
They made the playoffs now. The coach can go back and say, hey, let's reset it. Let's get back to where we were in week 1. And you're coaching high school kids. That's the biggest part of it. So they're going to look at, oh man, we beat them and we didn't even play that well. So it's the details. Coach Gilbert's going to challenge. Hey, I know we beat these guys, but beating a team twice, a good team twice, is tough. They're going to be focused. They're going to be because they were 4-6 in the regular season. So they're going to be looking to prove to everybody that they belong.
Yes.
So. If that was a B or a C effort for Tahlequah on the first, they're going to need an A. I'm going to say.
And this is Coweta's going to throw everything at them that they can have. That's all the trick plays are coming out.
Yep.
All of them.
Hey, speaking of, I saw 2 flea flickers in the NFL yesterday. The New Orleans Saints ran one, and the Patriots ran them.
Crazy. You've been calling for it.
I've been calling for it.
All right, let's talk about. We have a Player of the Year, and I think our. We've had some great, outstanding performances this year.
Yeah, we've had the privilege to watch Gunville play twice. Heck, the Loggins kid that last week from South Central,
right.
That was only in a 1-game sample, but you could tell, there was a couple times where he made an open field tackle to save a touchdown, so.
How many times? Probably 10 times.
At least.
Yeah, and then let's take Coweta. Might be the best team in Class 3 that didn't make the playoffs.
And they're triplets.
And they're triplets down there. You've got Fisher and Shropshire and Barrett.
Fisher plays both ways. He's playing defense. Shropshire does too. Don't get me wrong, but.
True freshman.
Yep. And then the young man from Eufaula that stepped in the quarterback there toward the end of the season and really kind of sparked their late season run.
Right. And then down at Idabel, you have Dante Reese. Big defensive end that just can take over a ball game.
The big fella from Roland, man, I forget his name. What was that running back? Trey, was it Trey? I'm sorry, young man, I'm forgetting your name.
We got a lot of names coming through, but the thing is we've seen and we've got to report on so many good performances from Hilldale to Muskogee to Fort Gibson to Wagner. Everywhere in our coverage area, Broken Bow
quarterback.
Yep, Broken Bow quarterback.
Really impressed us that night at Hilldale.
Right,
yep.
And
Hembry.
Hembry from Hilldale, and then from Seminole, and then you have Beggs.
Yeah, the center that snaps the ball with his left hand because his right hand's broke from Seminole. So, man, we've seen some outstanding things this year. Is what we're trying to get at, man.
Yeah. So our Player of the Year, without a doubt, and is got to be our man Jacob Bruce from Holbert.
Yeah, and he basically carried the Holbert Riders to their first home playoff game since '69 or whenever it was, before we were born. So he had a big time year, and we wanted to mention all those other guys because Jacob Bruce had such a season that it made it easy, and that's not discounting what those other guys did.
And he consistently had 300 yards every week, and that's such a huge feat. And here's the deal: it's just a wear and tear. But not just Jacob Bruce. This we're giving a Player of the Year to Jacob Bruce, but it's not just Jacob Bruce. It's his offensive line, it's his quarterback, it's his wide receivers that are blocking downfield, it's his defense getting short fields for him and stuff like that. So,
and the thing that impresses me about tough young men like that is it looked like he answered the bell every week. I mean, we never went by a week without seeing some kind of stats from him. So he didn't miss a game. So his offensive line kept him clean.
Right.
Scored a lot of touchdowns too, man.
Yep. And it'd be nice to see this young man get the state career rushing record, and he can easily do it. Hopefully this week, if not next week.
Have we seen stats from last week?
I have not seen stats from, and I actually did look, and I could not find any stats.
I couldn't find any either.
I think the coaches are busy getting ready for this week, so they didn't plug in any stats anywhere. So there's our player of the year, and
hey, look, man, at Holbert's coach, I mean, they don't have anything to draw on. A team like Seminole or these tradition-rich programs, it's a rite of passage for them to have a home playoff game. So now he's looking around saying, hey, does anybody remember the last time we had one of these? Do we know what we need to do? I mean, we're joking about it, but there's nobody probably that's still associated with Holbert that remembers the last time.
Right.
So the steps for it all, you know? So it's new territory, man. Congratulations, Holbert.
Yeah, got to go find some
That's big
grandparents. So another successful episode with the Blitz, and we look forward to all the games this week. We thank you for watching, so be sure and give us a like and share us. And Brian, before we close, we have basketball media days coming up. Basketball's right around the corner, and so we're excited about that and get to talk to lots of basketball players. But folks, we've had a fun time doing the Blitz this year. It's sad to see it kind of come to a close. And I've had a heck of a time.
I have too, man. I appreciate you asking me, brother.
Yeah,
I know I was 7th or 8th on the list.
Yeah.
Gosh, dog, you, Coach Kirkhart.
Yeah.
Chad Kirkhart, it's your fault.
Yeah, he was Coach Kirkhart or Athletic Director Kirkhart. It's your fault. Brian's here.
Yes.
But we appreciate Brian for filling in here, and he's done a fantastic job. And for everybody that you don't see behind the glass, all the little people back there, and some are bigger than others. And we appreciate everybody. It's a big team effort up here at Bravado Wireless. So thanks for watching us at the Bravado TV studios. And we'll have a game this week. Tahlequah Tigers hosting the Coweta Tigers for first round playoffs. And then watch us next week to see where we're going for the playoffs. And until we see you again.
Have a great day if you want to.